Well, hello there, my dear children of the apocalypse. How are we doing today? As you can tell, this is a bit of a different video. Not wearing a white shirt, and I'm logged in to War Thunder. Now, rest assured, I did say in October I wasn't going to play the game. Actually, no, I think I might have said I'm never going to make a video on War Thunder ever again. I'm not really breaking that rule, because I'm not making a video on War Thunder, but I am making a video about War Thunder. So I'm sort of finding some grey area here. Don't sue me. The reality is this: I've been on this journey, right? Not just my journey, like self-improvement or whatever, and trying to get Doom time and talking to other gamers that have been that I've met throughout the years of War Thunder. But I've realised there was something missing, and what was missing was context. Because if I'm a person, if I put myself 5 years ago in the past, and I think, oh man, this YouTuber I'm watching that used to make these amazing kill montages on YouTube and used to do all this, this really confident ego boy character, whatever, right? Where's this guy? Why is he doing this vloggy type, speak to the camera about some pseudoscience, self-motivating crap, right? I understand that person requires a little bit of context, because what we're all connected with on this channel, this whole community, has always been that we're greatly, greatly in love with this game. And I learned a lot about it, and I learned a lot from it, and I engaged with a lot of people, and I made a lot of enemies, and I made a lot of friends, and I made some bad decisions. But this is a story about why I hated War Thunder. And I hated it because I didn't understand business. See, when I started making YouTube videos, it was very much as a hobby. It was a test. It was me putting myself out there into a bit of an unknown. I wanted to see if I can even, pull it off, make a YouTube video, make a cohesive commentary. And I could have never imagined that my English would have progressed so much. Really, I hope that the video on the A26 Invader never gets deleted, because it's such a great example of how far you can come through hard work and persistency. But as luck would have it, as a content creator, you are very much at the faith of not just the developer of the game, but also Twitch, YouTube, right? As regulations change, there's certain things you're suddenly not allowed to talk about, or certain things you're not allowed to say. There's a lot of these things were put forth for content creators where we had to start being very careful and sort of tippy-toeing. And my personal issue was that when you become very involved with something, you become very passionate about it. Combine that with the character that I was building, which was ironically quite different from the person I was in real life. I was very shy in high school. I was very, introverted almost. But then I came onto the stream and I realized here I was suddenly very good. I was good at the game, I was efficient, I had all these viewers, and the streamer's ego was starting to get into my head. And then came the question of, what do you want to do in life? What is your job going to be? That's the question you always asked by your friends, your family, your teachers. I could never really pinpoint a particular location for me, a particular destination. I thought, what I would really love to do? I would love to work for Gaijin. That was my dream. My dream was to be a consultant, because I realized at some point that I had a lot of ideas that were good. I was convinced of it. To a certain extent, I still am. But I also had built a reputation that wasn't very well accepted by a lot of people in the community. And I realized that, if Gaijin was to say, and this was me thinking hypothetically, but if Gaijin was to say, hey, we've now employed theOrangeDoom, and he's going to help change the direction of the game, I think there would be a pretty big revolt, because people would be absolutely confident that I was going to do something bad. So what we did is, all the way back then, this must have been 2016, 2017, just before I ultimately quit, I had let my passion run so high that I was starting to reach out to fellow content creators to create this, first it was like a podcast, then it was like these documents. I still have them. I have these notepads, Word documents, Excel sheets. We were trying to create almost like a tutorial, like a new version of the game that people could look at and be like, oh, this is going to be great. If this feature gets added into War Thunder, I will be extremely happy. I was trying to think about all of it. How do we get more people to watch War Thunder on Twitch? How do we get more people to, join the game? How do we get more esports potential? How do we make sure that there's this cohesion, that we can minimize the drama that's happening between content creators, give every one of them their own niche. And the more I was going to that rabbit hole, the less I was really thinking about War Thunder was not a game. I mean, it was a game to me, it might be a game to you, but to Gaijin, the people who make it, for them is their livelihood. It's a business. And businesses don't run on the same set of rules. Now, I probably shouldn't be talking about this, but it's the truth and I want to mention it. I did at some point reach out to Anton, the CEO of Gaijin, and I feel bad that I did, because the stuff that I wrote in there, I'm not going to disclose what was talked about in the email because I promised that I wouldn't. But I read it back and I feel ashamed. I feel ashamed that the stuff that I spoke about was so... I find it difficult to even understand who I was as a person. I don't even recognize the individual who thought, you're just a YouTuber, you're just a content creator. It's not even really your full-time thing. And you're going out there talking to the person who created this environment that even enables your livelihood. And to approach him in such arrogance and such, almost aggression, I'm bizarre he even responded, honestly. And it's not until now, years later, that I look back at it and I think, obviously, I understand that the whole approach was really bad, and me as a person was in the wrong. But how little I understood it, and why I hated it so much, how the passion was able to get so high, was because I was involved with it. I really wholeheartedly just wanted it to work. I'm sure that, if you put it into a lie detection or something, or if you psychoanalyzed me 5 years ago, you'd probably be like, holy crap, this guy actually just wants what's good. But it was the approach, it was the way I was doing it that was really, really bad. And it's a learning process. And I realize now, I've changed my job a couple of times. I've seen how different businesses work from really various different businesses, and you realize just how important it is for those people to make it about money. Frankly, it is how it works. And when you think about War Thunder, you think about their business model. As much as I do dislike where this game has gone. Just sitting here in the lobby, it makes me angry knowing where it could be. But I'm looking at it from a romantic point of view. I'm looking at it from a point of view of a person who it's almost like looking at your ex-girlfriend and thinking, damn, why couldn't you have worked out? Why couldn't you have been a different person? But reality is they're probably looking at you thinking the same thing. War Thunder is, I think, when it comes from a marketing perspective, one of the greatest games they've ever made. They've really made a lot of money from it. Their marketing approach, their business idea, which is, here's a new patch, we're giving you a bunch of new shiny things, and we've made most of them payable premiums at a premium price. You realize they're bringing in huge sums of money. And so from a number point of view, from a business running point of view, I think this game is doing really well and probably will be doing very well for the foreseeable future. Now, from a quality of life point of view, probably not the best of approaches. Probably there could have been directions taken differently. Maybe that's me really thinking about it romantically, where I'm thinking, should we today have thousands of people watching it on Twitch? Should this be a multi-million watching on an esports platform? Could this game have some of the bigger stars that you might see in other games, like League of Legends and these competitions they're able to do, and YouTubers with thousands upon thousands of different videos to make, and niches, and these intricate challenges, like speed running and handicapping almost yourself to grind through certain vehicles, and unique camouflages and all that. I think there's so much untapped potential, but I think for me, looking back at it now, it's been about analysis. And I realized that if I'm just going to sit here for a whole year, talk about just, things I've learned, things I've read, and people I've talked to, and lessons I've learned, and quotes I've heard, it's not enough. I think it needs some congruency, and it needs some type of cohesion. And I think I've already made a big step with Doom Time. The idea that it's a conversation between the gamer that's already quit gaming, or a gamer that's in the process of it, or a gamer that's just getting started, really. For me, I'm interested in stories. I'm interested in also telling and hearing, listening and expressing. And I realize on some fundamental level that there's still so much that I never got to tell. There's so many stories that throughout hours of streaming that I've done and hours of video footage that I never really got to tell. And that's why, if this video does well, and you know, if you're interested in this, if this is something that motivates you, do give me that thumbs up. Put it down in the comments. There's so many stories I still want to tell about War Thunder, and they don't have to involve playing a vehicle. They don't have to involve us sitting there raging at, you know, how some mechanic was added that we don't enjoy. These are stories that live in the past, that have created the present, and that will guide us through the future, because I know there is so much that I've still yet to say. And I really don't want to take it with me to the grave, so might be a good time to do it now. So, story time? Yeah, I think War Thunder story time is the way to do it. Let me know, and we'll catch you in the next one. Take care, and safe flying.